Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Furtbird, the nerd, with another video game market report for December, Thursday the 5th. I'm a little late on this one. I did a market report for comic books yesterday, and so I just wanted to keep with the consistency and do one for video games. Kind of some different games that I've never thought of investing in, a couple ideas I had for like a longer 3 to 5 year term kind of investment. I don't know if they'll work out, but I figured that the buy-in was pretty low. That's kind of the deal with collecting nowadays. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this list. It's pretty short, but if you guys do enjoy these lists, please hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and I'll keep doing them for you guys. But yeah, kind of a short list today, but nonetheless, I do have a list and some ideas for you. First up, Xenogears. I never played this game when I was a kid. I know I had friends that did have this game. This does go for pretty good money. I think if you can find a very nice CIB, issue of this PS1 favorite, it's not a bad one to get. 140 is maybe a little bit steep for me. I'd try and go for like a 120, 110, just so you have a little bit of meat on the bone in case you don't get a good great grade. I haven't seen any like CGC first to market graded games of this, so I don't think people are buying this to play it just because of the longevity of playing a PS1 game. But $300 for a seal, that's about double, obviously. And hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that technical difficulties. But yeah, like I was saying, $300 for a sealed version of this game. I think that's quite expensive, but I didn't have enough data to kind of go over to see if that's like a consistently good value for this game. Check out price charting. Maybe they may have some better data, but I would say for video games sealed overall, the market's actually increasing since the pandemic. So I think it tells you a couple things. One, video game investing is kind of a newer thing, and I think it's kind of just starting to come to fruition due to the fact that digital sales are higher now than physical media. So I just think it's just getting started. Next up, Turtles in Time. This is one of my favorite games ever. And yeah, I think the cover does really well for this game. I think when you're thinking about collecting, and especially with like keeping stuff in the box or CIB, whatever you want to call it, you have to think of how it presents. And this presents so well. For $100 to $200 in CIB, depending on the grade. I saw one as low as 85, but it was a pretty bad shape. I think yeah, I think there's some potential with these SNES games in CIB, even though they're highly printed. If you can get a really good grade, like 8.0 or higher, I think you're going to get a good price for them. But you just have to make sure you get like a good start price with as everything. But it's just, it's kind of a crapshoot when you're getting the grades back from CGC. So, but yeah, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I think you have a lot going for it as far as long-term potential. And who knows, they may revamp this game on a bigger system one day. Super Mario Odyssey, I think, as far as the games to collect in for the future, Mario's one, Zelda's another. Sonic's always going to do really well. When I think of PlayStation, I think of Metal Gear Solid, even though they're not coming out with new games lately. But franchises like Mario's like up there. If you can get this game for $28 to $30 sealed, which is what I've seen it go for, I don't think that's a bad idea. If you're thinking about long-term investing in this, get the 4 zeros on the UPC code. $98 for 1 and 9.8. I did not play this game, but I hear this game and Wonder, I believe, are the top 2 games to kind of go after right now. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'd recommend this short-term or long-term, but if you are thinking that this is good, this is a good one to get long-term, I maybe just try for the $30 sealed ones and try and get a 9.8. I think that's your best bet. Another kind of idea, I remember this game. This is I'm not thinking about the classic one, but this game was a really cool game by EA Sports. They're not really doing, except for Madden and what is it, college football, I guess soccer to some light. EA was really big into snowboarding type games, and this was like one of the best ones. I would say this is probably like the comparison to like Tony Hawk in the snow. But I think this is maybe a long-term hold for one. $25 to $30 sealed for an Xbox or PS3 game seems pretty high, since it's it's pretty high print. But if you can get a high grade on that bad boy, it might not be bad to just kind of scope these out, put it away for a while, and then see if just collectors come back and see what happens. It's a sports game, so you're kind of risking that, but this was EA Sports' big imprint, so it had to do with like not your typical kind of sports games. They did skateboarding, did snowboarding, that type of stuff. So pretty cool game and a lot of fun. This was a very like cool collectible, I think, to have. It's Pokemon. So again, another one of those franchises that are always going to hold its value. Now, I think the way to invest in Pokemon is either one, you got to go with the trio, the Game Boy games, you know, the Ruby, the Blue, and the Yellow, I think it is. Oh, and Red, of course. But I think it's also not a bad idea to go after these kind of higher end, like more rare, probably not really bought after because of the price tag on these when they originally came out. But this is a kind of I think the game was basically you could talk to different Pokemon characters and like get them to like follow you, kind of like a pet. But yeah, it came with a microphone and some other accessories, so it comes in kind of a bundle. It's not a console. Now, just be aware of that. But an 85 plus grade for a VGA. So for 2K on eBay with multiple bids. I saw a $500 one sealed. I mean, if you get that for 85 plus, I mean, that's 2K in the basket. That's a triple banger right there. I just think it'd be really cool to get this and maybe hold on to it for a while. There are CIB versions that go for like 100 to 150 bucks, but there might be some potential there as well. But obviously, if you can get a sealed one, I think that's a good way to go. Watch out for those reseals too, though, just because it'd be really crappy if you've got a reseal for 500 bucks. But pretty cool thing to look at. All right, kind of a newer thing. I'm a little bit more open to these limited run games. They seem pretty cool. I just don't know enough about them, and obviously, like they're geared towards like collectors. You do that in DVDs and steelbook 4K movies and all that. But I think this has some potential because people are going to want to play a fun game, but if it's digital, which is where everything's going forward nowadays, they're going to want that trophy. They're going to want that really cool version of that. It's happened ever since the span of like video games started. To my knowledge, this acts like a visual novel. It came out in 2016, but this particular version came out pretty recently. I don't know exactly the time. Like, I think what kind of stood out to me for this guy is that it's a cyberpunk genre. It's not part of the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, but there's a lot of collectors that like that cyberpunk kind of dystopian type of, I don't know, I guess world you'd call it. And I don't know if it's like grotesque in nature or like, sexual at all, but I'm sure, people always buy that type of stuff for whatever reason. 175 bucks for this sealed. I think that I definitely think this has future potential for a newer game. Limited run games, 175, 150. That's what you're going to pay for it sealed. And this was probably one of the oddest games I found that goes for a ton of money. 850 bucks for a CIB. When I was looking at like stills or YouTube videos for this, it reminded me of like if Zelda, Link to the Past, and like old school Mario on SNES had a baby, and it was a farmer game. This is basically what it is. I don't know the exact like parameters of this game, but it's definitely a cult favorite. I don't know the future value of this, but like this is one of those, like if you see this like at a random garage sale, like even the game itself goes for 350 bucks. But I never heard this game. I never even see this game before, but it is Super Nintendo goodness. And yeah, happy hunting out there. And last but not least, this is a more common game, obviously, like kind of sticking with the Mario franchise theme. Mario Party. If you find a good, if you go to a game store and you find this for like 50 to 80 bucks, which is potentially, it's possible. You get this CIP for 8.5. You can sell for 400 bucks. That's a pretty good, return on your investment. 215 for actually a seal is what I found. And there are first prints, but I'm not really sure how you designate between the two, but I guess be on the lookout for first prints as well. And that's it for your show today. I do appreciate everyone watching and keeping up with the channel. We haven't gone live. We kind of announced our last live Sunday show just because of just things, kind of getting in repetitive in the show and all that. But I do appreciate everyone watching these short videos that I'm doing. I'll keep doing them if you guys like it. Just hit that like button, subscribe, comment in the section below. Watch my past videos to kind of encourage me to keep doing these, and I'll keep them going. And you all have a great week. Take care. See you next weekend.